The world's largest ocean liner, the Queen Mary II, has docked at the port of Cape Town today. The ship is carrying 2,000 passengers, mostly from Europe. The V&A Waterfront terminus is a hive of activity today as guests disembark to explore the rainy mother city. Some small and medium-sized businesses say there's been a significant boost in trade as cruise ships return to levels seen before the COVID-19 pandemic. Queen Mary II will depart tomorrow, and its next stop will be Namibia.
When the ship started coming in December, we saw a significant growth, I must say. And like I always say, numbers don't lie, and that's a big deal because prior to the ships operating since December, we could see more than a 50% growth on the turnover, monthly turnover. And after that, business has been good, and we've been actually building network with different clients from different countries. And one of the popular dishes they normally come for, is calamari and fries. Yeah, okay, you wouldn't. Yes, okay, it's a good thing. And then, of course, you know, sushi is the international dish, and they would normally come and pop in for a sushi while they wait for either to board, and while they disembark, they have to wait for their transport for collection.
All right, let's take you live to Cape Town now with Newzroom Afrika's Nasiphi, who joins us live now from the V&A Waterfront. Nasiphi, thank you for making time. It's been raining there since this morning. Has that in any way affected those that have been disembarking, wanting to explore the mother city?
Oh, that has definitely not dampened the spirit of some of the visitors that disembarked here this morning, and they literally hit the ground running. Having arrived here at around 10 o'clock this morning, buses were already waiting for them to shuttle and bus them out to the various tourist destinations in the mother city, and going as far as the Cape Winelands, even going up Table Mountain. So basically the weather was not a factor in regards to thoroughly enjoying the mother city. But to talk to us more about Queen Mary, which is one of the largest ocean liners, I'm joined by Andre Blaine from the V&A Waterfront, who's responsible for the Marine and Industrial Department, who's the executive manager. Mouthful. Andre, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
But what makes Queen Mary so special, and how many people does it accommodate?
Well, it's one of those, I'd say, charismatic ocean liners that goes around the world on a world cruise. And she carries about 2,000 people on board, and they visit various world destinations, and Cape Town is one of the stops that is on her itinerary, so she's always welcome here, and it's great to have her here.
Literally made a big splash this morning with 500 passengers disembarking here and obviously going to their various destinations in terms of exploring the mother city. But the number of people that actually arrived here and made their way through this terminal, what does that do for not only the economy of the V&A Waterfront, but Cape Town, its entirety?
Yes, so when you look at a season here at the waterfront in respect of cruising, or in Cape Town, our season is basically from October the one year until May the following year. This year, in our season up until the end of March, we've welcomed over 160,000 passengers and crew into the mother city, and 95,500 of those were international passengers and crew. So it is a large input from a tourism perspective into the Western Cape in respect of numbers. But a vessel like this coming in, and other vessels that come into Cape Town will take on local produce, wine, etc., and that will be used on board. And over and above that, on a number of these vessels, there's a lot of South African crew that are actually on board. So there's a job opportunity as well, and with some of them an international job opportunity at the end of the day. The Queen Mary's got 45 different nationalities that work on board. So very interesting, yeah.
On that note, it's been a 6-year break since the Queen Mary docked at the port of Cape Town. Perhaps talk to us about the reasons behind that, and the fact that earlier on you spoke about the fact that this is indeed a proper recovery season. Talk to us on that.
Yeah, if you look at it, COVID hits everywhere around the world quite hard in respect of the cruise industry, and for about a 2.5 year period we haven't had cruise vessels into Cape Town, and that was around the world as well. Her last visit here 6 years ago, and it's the itinerary planning of where they go to at the end of the day. But she's back, and this season we've had so far about 68 cruise vessels visiting, some multiple times and some that have actually visited our coastline right up to Durban, PE, Mossel Bay, etc., and done local cruising. And what that does mean is that the ship would, say, travel from Cape Town to PE, and people would fly into Cape Town to board the vessel to do that trip and fly out of PE at the end of the day. So you actually get a bit of movement across the country and a spread of that spend across the country at the end of the day, and tourists and passengers actually visiting various destinations across the country. So no, it's good. It's very good for the country, and the recovery has been great for us.
Talking about recoveries, Makers Landing right next door, the businesses that are there, the shuttle services and travel agencies that are benefiting from this. How many shuttles were waiting for the passengers this morning?
So if you look at the Queen Mary on its own, there were about 25 buses, luxury buses that were here that took the passengers to the various destinations and excursions within the Western Cape. And then we also have another vessel that's in today, the MSC Orchestra, and that has also got a turnaround of about 5,500 passengers, and various shuttles and businesses that do the luggage to the vessels, transport the passengers to the vessels in the little bit of rain that we had earlier. And so a lot of local business benefits from that. In respect of Makers Landing, we've got a lot of startup businesses there. We've got a test kitchen in there, so it's predominantly a food facility, and those tenants benefit from the passengers that come and are going to board the vessel. MSC, for instance, you've got 2,700 passengers that had to board the vessel, so they would make use of Makers Landing and the produce that's there, etc.
Andre Blaine, the V&A Waterfront Executive Manager for Marine and Industrial, for the Marine and Industrial Department, not only highlighting the importance of having a Queen Mary coastal liner hitting the shores of Cape Town Port, but also some of the other cruise liners that make their way to this port, and how beneficial it is to the small businesses that are here. And one of those businesses that we spoke about how they lost or rather were unable to afford rent for their business, and now have a kiosk at this terminal and have been able to generate tons, and saying that they've been unable actually to keep up with the numbers, and if things continue at this rate, they'll probably even triple the amount of staff members that they have employed. So a ripple effect for businesses, including the economy for not only Cape Town but also the Western Cape and the V&A Waterfront.
Right. Nasiphi, thank you for that update live to us from Cape Town.